I went to the gym today only because of this machine, the seated calf raise. I know it doesn't seem like it's a good use of my time and my money, but this is basically an extension of my thoughts about the lower leg training. It started off with one of my subscribers, one of you guys, saying that I've got some kind of collapsing arches when I squat. You guys picked it up, kind of watching me from the back. You saw that one of my, especially my right, was collapsing a little bit, and you basically spoke about how important that is to kind of prevent that for the sake of hip and knee health. That kind of led me down the pathway of doing some standing calf raises, which kind of led to me going for a run, which almost snap-seated me up. It was so sore, still sore. My whole calf complex, Achilles complex, still kind of sore, but nothing like the last few days. So I decided to go to the gym and work on purely the soleus. So for those of you guys that don't know, there are two muscle groups in the lower leg, posterior lower leg, in the calf. There's the gastrocnemius, which is kind of those two big muscles on top, right near the knee. And then there's a soleus, which is kind of like a deeper muscle. Now, they both help you to kind of extend the foot or plantar flex the foot. But there is a change in which one dominates in what position of the knee. So when you are standing upright and you do a calf raise, the driver there predominantly is the gastrocnemius. The soleus also gets worked. But when the knee is flexed or in a bent position and you're doing a calf raise, the soleus takes the majority of the workload. So I decided to experiment today, go to the gym and hit this and see how that affects my dorsiflexion and my foot control. I did 5 sets of 50 of these. Some of these are not the greatest range of motion. It's purely just pump work. I was just pumping. My cameraman said to me, "Man, you're not really doing a lot of range of motion here. Maybe I could do more range of motion, but there was so much blood in the foot, in the calf, that I couldn't really bear the pain. This is just what it was. So not the cleanest reps, but there was a lot of them, so it kind of worked out all right. Obviously, after doing 5 sets of 50, I'm going to be engorged with blood, but my foot felt good. It felt warm. It felt ready to squat. I had quite a lot of trouble squatting today. In fact, my right foot evidently is much weaker than my left, and it was kind of obvious to me because my right foot was basically shaking underneath me as I was walking around and squatting. I just felt like vibrations in the kind of bottom of my foot and in my calf, my lower portion of my calf. It was basically, I just had to make sure that my foot pressure was all the way to the heel, because every time I'd go to the foot, the toes or the balls of the feet, my foot would basically shake and tremble. So that was an interesting thing. Now, would I or should I do this as the first thing before squatting? Probably not. I mean, I did way too much, but I really wanted to see how my ankles would behave. I think, it's really early for me to say this, but I think that the soleus is the number one restrictor of dorsiflexion. Now, it's a bold statement, and I'm yet to kind of test this out and work on a little bit more. But for all you people out there who are struggling with dorsiflexion, I would say, or for very limited amount of time working with it, there's something to seated calf raises. The soleus is a big muscle, and the soleus works when your knee is in a flex position. What are squats? Squats are in flex positions. So basically, the gastrocnemius is not a factor when the knee is bent. So what other calf muscle is restricting our dorsiflexion? The soleus. So you can stretch it. My experience with stretching is not the greatest. You stretch something that's weak, tomorrow morning it returns back to the same state. You need to add strength to tight muscles in order for them to let go a little bit, and then you can stretch them a little bit. But stretching a tight muscle, a weak muscle, it's a very long way around. You're taking a long way around. I felt really good. Today. I feel like there's something to this. 160 moved smoothly. I went to 180, and I think this is where I said to my cameraman, my right foot is literally vibrating beneath me. The moment I kind of engage in going to the squat, it feels better, but it was a weird feeling. I've never experienced anything like this. There it is. look pretty good. So feeling strong today, feeling really good today. Went to a different kind of gym today. I mean, the same kind of brand of gym, but a different location. Really, really love the setup of this gym. Really cool, great lighting, really good atmosphere, really good music as well. So I had some fun today. So this is 190. Let's check this one out. Nice. I felt really stable today. Really, really stable. I was really kind of happy how the seated calf raises kind of affected my lower leg. The pump was insane, and I felt like I had pillows on the back of my hamstrings to sit on. My calves were really, really pumped, but not so much the top half. It was kind of like the bottom half. I guess that's where the soleus lives. So this is 200 kilos. Bit of a struggle on the way up, but nevertheless, I'm quite happy with how all of this turned out. So after this, I just said, look, I want to put some more reps in. So I took 140 for a ride. I got 13 reps here with 140. I think my rep work is progressing nicely. But yeah, this kind of goes on from the conversation I had in the previous videos about why I think the quad is my number one driver in the kind of squat that I do. Lots of feedback, which I love from you guys. I really think the quad is the primary mover in all of this. All of the other stuff on the back of you is to keep the knee and hip healthy. Obviously, the glutes come into it a lot, but you need the glute and hamstring to be just as strong in your quad, but I think the quads need direct training. Now, how do you train the quad? You can squat. Absolutely, you can squat. But the trouble is, if you have limited dorsiflexion, you can't squat with quads. You squat with your posterior chain. Whenever your shins are vertical or thereabouts, you're engaging the posterior chain. In order for your quads to come into the picture, you need to send your knees over your toes. Now, your dorsiflexion might be limited and you can't even engage the quad. So that's why I've taken upon myself to actually train the quads directly in the form of a leg extension. Heaps of advice, heaps of recommendations from you guys about alternatives. I think the easiest way for me right now, especially at home, is just to hit the leg extensions. And so far, so good. I feel really good. So yeah, basically, if I had Tom Platz kind of dorsiflexion, I wouldn't have to do leg extensions. I would just do high rep squats. But since the run recently that I had, my basically lower leg has been pretty much jacked. This is one of the reasons I want to go to the gym today and just get some blood into it without having to go for a run, because that's just brutality. The seated calf raise machine allows me to kind of load that whole Achilles, soleus, calf complex without really frying my lower leg. So it's a more of a subtle way of training the calves. So really pleased how today went. Really pleased. I was kidding around with my cameraman. I kind of been telling him this kind of a joke for a few weeks now. If I was to open up a gym, all you would see in this damn gym is squat rack next to a GHD machine. That's all I would do. You would just have like 50 of these just around. Squat rack, GHD, squat rack, GHD, squat rack. And then after today, I said to him, all right, we're going to make one more addition. We're going to have a squat rack, GHD, and a seated calf raise. We had a bit of fun with that one. But I'm just looking for the simplest way to get stronger without huge variation. I don't believe that training should be all that complicated. You just need to find the right exercises and the right ratios, and then you're good. All right, guys, that's me thinking out loud again tonight. Hopefully you find this useful. Until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.